Trust and transparency are the most significant ingredients toward project success. Transparency is what owners of public sector projects need to establish with their contractors. Up front, across the board, for all projects and in a uniform way, like a standard that all public sector contractors must follow. But let's go a step back. When it comes to public sector projects, the question is, who are the project owners? Public sector projects are typically owned by government entities, such as federal, state, or local agencies. These agencies are responsible for planning, financing, and implementing projects that serve the public interest, such as infrastructure development, social services, and public safety initiatives. The ownership of public sector projects is determined by the laws and regulations of states, regions, provinces, and countries. Public sector projects. This phrase contains the word public. Therefore, the so-called project owners are these organizations acting on behalf of the public. The public is taxpayers. The taxpayers are the project beneficiaries. Taxpayers trust government bodies when there is transparency, and the public servants need to secure it and provide it to the taxpayers. If they do so, then trust will be established too. So, in this video, we will explain how project intelligence can help provide the trust and transparency for public sector projects and megaprojects. At the same time, these project owners must also demand this transparency from their contractors so that they can fulfill in turn the expectations of the taxpayers. And the key thing is that if they demand such transparency, project owners need to specify it in the form of a standard that the contractor must follow. So let's first look at the type of projects in question. Public sector agencies typically handle a variety of megaprojects, including infrastructure projects such as roads, bridges, highways, airports, and mass transit systems. Environmental projects such as water treatment plants, waste management facilities, and renewable energy projects. Social services projects such as schools, hospitals, housing developments, and public safety facilities. Economic development projects such as business parks, industrial zones, and research and development centers. Defense and security projects such as military installations, border security systems, and emergency management systems. Technology projects such as the automation of public services, public information management systems, data centers, and IT security. The fact is that no matter what your public sector organization is, the project types will vary, and so will the project activity types. Some things, though, that will not change are the questions that anyone can raise anytime over the course of the project, like, what is the actual project progress? This kind of question could also be asked for any project subphase, like during engineering, procurement, construction, and handover. Another question, what has been paid and what is expected to be paid against actual progress? Are the contractor payment requests validated against actual progress? Next question, given the actual progress so far, what is the estimate to complete in terms of cost and schedule? And if the project is behind cost and schedule, why is this happening? What were and what are ahead risks, exposures? What are risk remedies? But here is another question that can be a big challenge to answer. What is the cost related to the project activity types? And how do these costs compare to other projects of the same type? Such questions and more mean that transparency becomes a driving principle for project planning and execution. Project intelligence then becomes an uncompromising requirement for all project stakeholders. Regarding the last question about activity types and activity-based costing, this is the time to introduce certain principles adopted in the project intelligence solution. These are principles that thought leaders like Gary Kokins, who over the years has helped organizations adopt ABC best practices with his knowledge, experience, and books, as activity-based costing and activity-based performance management expert and practitioner. These principles boil down to something which is not just of paramount importance, but rather of paramount significance. That is, to manage a project or a number of projects in parallel, you have to deviate from standard project accounting methods, decompose each project down to standard project activity types and standard work steps, associated with project assets and deliverables, characterized by specific relative weight factors toward progress tracking, and therefore, toward project cost tracking. This is what the Project Intelligence Standard is all about. The decomposition of a project and its phases to assets and deliverables, activity types, and weighted work steps associated with specific work breakdown structure packages. So, what does it take to make transparency a flagship for your project? How can this project intelligence standard be practically adopted for your project? The Project Intelligence Standard is a comprehensive guide that defines customizable project activity types, work steps and relative weight factors, asset types and disciplines. It further defines the standard terms and glossary for use across all projects. It further provides the calculations for progress, depending on the activity type and its associated work steps and assets. Powered by Power BI, Activity Exchange, and the DAD software tools, Project Intelligence takes trust and transparency amongst project stakeholders to a new level. And let us not forget, the taxpayers, the beneficiaries of the public sector projects, and megaprojects, not just deserve, but they expect the most valuable ingredients for successful project delivery. Nothing less than trust and transparency. Project Intelligence can deliver both trust and transparency.